All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good evening. Welcome to the Den with Coach Seth Parr, everybody. We are live from Nandas Tex-Mex right here in Anna, Texas, and this show is brought to you by some great sponsors, people who love some Coyote football, right? We want to thank Country Charm for all their support, Anna Dental, Pin Oaks Christian Fellowship, and as always, we want to say a big thank you because the Coyote Football Network is brought to you by the great group, City Park Development. So thank you for all their support and everything that they do. I am joined tonight by somebody brand new to the Den, right?
Right.
But you're not new to Coyote football.
I've never been new.
You've never been new. You're new. You're new at some places, right?
Kinda.
All right. Okay. This is everybody. This is Danica. Let's welcome Danica. I know Coach needs no introduction necessarily, but okay. So Danica, we're going to jump right in. Are you ready for this fun?
I am ready.
It's not every week we get to have the coach's daughter on the show. What do you think about having the coach's daughter on the show?
Coach's daughter, I think it's important because you can also see other things that happen at like house or how my dad affects what goes on at home.
Yeah.
And
Speak up.
what goes on. It's important to know what kind of how he sets that example for his own kids, and it's not just in football. For like his own kids, he carries that standard throughout everything, and
Yeah.
I think that's really important for people to know that because it can be very helpful to know that because other people tend to think that you might get special treatment, but that's not the case at all. It's carried out. In fact, I think it could be harder for coaches' kids because you're held to a higher standard than everyone else.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. So look, let's talk a little bit about, let's break down what it's like to live in Coach's house. Now listen, we've heard from coaches like Coach Rod. Like Coach Rod's always got some stuff to say about your dad. Right? Is your dad hard to live with? Like Coach Rod whines, he cries up here sometimes. Like, Coach Parr's so hard and
My dad is a special person. I think he can be hard on us, but he is willing to drop a lot of things for his family, and that is very important as he chooses to try and lead us to better places. And that's very important too, because in the end of the day, in the end of the day, we do know that he will try to make the good decisions for us, even if we don't like the decisions at first.
yeah.
And it's especially tiring when the only thing you have on the TV is football all the time.
Oh, but do you have a favorite team outside the Coyotes?
It's the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the only good team.
Oh,
in the
guys. Hey,
NFL.
y'all back off. Y'all leave her alone. She's entitled. I thought they were going to start throwing bottles at you there for a second.
It's fine.
We were confused. We didn't know who won the game last week. I was working all day, and I think I called Shonda to see if she had texted her to see if what the score was. And I never got a response back from the Dallas Cowboy fans. But I did watch NFL primetime and found out we won. All right, the
That's
Eagles
good.
won.
There they
That's
go.
right.
All right, so we're in playoff week, right? It's the first week of playoffs, gold ball season, right? A lot of people have different ways of talking about this. The march to state. I mean, there's a ton of things that we call. What changes in Coach Parr's universe during playoff season?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He is constantly working hard, and it is the same thing every day because that's what it has to take. He sets the requirements, and he will meet those every day to be successful, and that's what it takes. That's what I learned.
There was no hesitation in that answer. There was nothing. She was right at it.
It takes what it takes, doesn't it?
It takes what it takes to be a winner and
That's
a pro.
right.
Hey, there you go.
And
That's a good family motto right there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right, now look, a lot of people comment about how you might be Coach's mini me. Now I'm just saying, I'm just taking what other people have said to me. Like a lot of people have said, Danica's like Coach Parr's mini me. Like she is very, like I'm looking right now at one of the players, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but they're like, oh yeah.
I know who
So
it was
they say
probably.
you're mini me. Channel your inner coach, right? Bring that, because I know you got it. I taught you in chapel long enough to know you got that inner coach in you, right? What do you tell the team if you had the chance heading into this week's game? What do you say?
You have to play the same that you would play in every other game. You don't lower your playing standards, and you keep them high, because if you lower it, there is a chance that people will get past you, or if you lower it, that's not the best you can play.
Come get her now. Some of these high schools need to come get their next coach right here. I'm thinking right now, right?
Yeah.
No, okay, look, I'm going to give you the mic for a second, and I'm going to let you say almost anything you want. Is there something that you, as you've watched this show, because I know you watch, you take a lot of interest in your dad, right? And as much as, you have praised him today, you take as much interest in every single thing he's doing. It means a lot to you.
Yes,
and I can
does.
see, especially in those few times we've lost, you wear a loss. Who wears it harder, you or your dad?
It depends, because I think since we won the state championship at this point, I'm like, it is what it is. We got our goal. It would be nice to win another one, and I think we can do that. But I might take it harder if I don't like the team.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to ask you to name them. We're going to keep, because you would if I asked, and I don't want to go there tonight. But what is something that you want to share with everybody as you've got this opportunity?
I think that the most important thing to address is about how it's constantly, and people might not understand, but you cannot say anything about the coaches or kids because you don't know about that. And it's a lot harder for the kids and coaches. And it's not helping when you're screaming up in the stands to do this certain play or put your kid in.
You hear that every now and then? You mean people are trying to coach from the stands? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, we don't need.
That
don't
never
need a big
happens,
coach
Danica.
here.
Nobody ever does
no,
that.
You don't need. But it's important to have a good crowd and a good team.
Okay. All right. Now look, Dad, Coach is sitting right next to you. Let's talk about what just happened. Like that was. Yeah. This young lady's pretty well spoken.
Danica is really somebody that works really hard and wants to be really good, wants to be a pleaser, and she'll do everything she can. She got her dad in her. She's sneaky a little bit. All right, so her dad's sneaky as well. So, she likes to get the snacks, and not always take them. And she's very good because she'd take a snack, and when I wasn't supposed to get one, so I would see her, and she's in the pantry after we've been told that we can't get any. And then she would give me something so she could partake in there, and it worked. It was good. Smart. Deals were made.
Smart. Okay, I see.
But Coach Rod was big with her too, so Coach Rod got to stay with her and did a lot of sitting at the house. And when she was upset with me and her mother, she would always go to Victor, Coach Rod, and get in on his good side. Yeah. He liked that. And then Coach Rod would come and say, hey, I think you need to calm down a little bit. And I say, shut up, go to your room too. So, but he did a good job.
Oh, well, Coach, she's got the coach speak down.
Yeah, one thing she's really good at is asking questions and understands. Like she asked me, what will you do with Chumley's playing offense and defense? I think that was on there. If he's playing defense, is it going to take down his run production? And I got that on my text, and I was like, that's a pretty good question. I hope not, but she knows the sport and been around it and asks really good questions, and just likes winning. She likes winning. She likes winning a lot, and she knows how you can't cut corners in order to do it. And sometimes maybe with the room, we cut little corners, and maybe not as clean all the time. But then she'll tell me, "Hey, Mom's not gonna come up here. Let's get this done." and we'll work as a team, and we'll get that done sometimes. Sometimes not all that laundry gets put up all the time, does it?
Well, Coach, while you're up here, we want to talk a little bit about this week, too. It is special to have her here, and it's special to have your reaction to kind of some of the stuff she's saying and the things she's learning while she is, being parented by two people we care a lot about in this audience right here. Between you and your wife, we can definitely see the product of all that hard work.
Well, one thing she gets is, we have to take a lot of our time away, and we're not always at home. Like, she'll mid Tuesdays in basketball season, Tuesdays, Fridays. And believe it or not, she doesn't always want to come to every game that we always have. And she does like to stay. She likes football games, maybe not all the other ones. So there's a lot of times where I'm gone and she's at the house and stuff like that. And we'll go and I won't see her until I'll look up and I was like, I need to go upstairs. I hadn't seen Danica. So we'll go up there and as much time as we take away, sometimes I feel guilty, but then she'll come in and she gets, that what it takes in order to be good. And that's a lesson. And, sometimes getting the trips to Buc-ee's, right? Those are good. Nothing like a little beef jerky will help this girl. And all those things are worth it. So it's good to have her around. And she does take losses hard. I had to. I feel bad, and I had to go and get her, pick her back up because she's shedding some tears. That one game up north, right, or south of us. Yeah. Little Melissa, she didn't take the Melissa game too well. Nobody did though, did we? No. So.
Yeah. So going into this week, Coach, what are you telling the team?
Number one, it's the team that wants to play in the playoffs. You got to be excited to play. A lot of them, we got a lot of good competition guys, but, we can't get satisfied. You can't take a step off. I'm hard on Zai. Say, hey, what do they do inside the 10? It's going to be the stuff that, like, situational stuff that's going to be a big part of this game. So, like, what we do once we get inside the 3-yard line. He's got to operate that. Zai's got to operate that. I'm not going to be there. He better know what to do. And not know some of what to do, know all of it what to do. What's the first play? That's right. You better hurry up. So second down, what's the second down call? There you go. The other second down call could be E63. There you go. So all that stuff, but they got to know 2-minute. They got to know 4-minute. They got to know why they're doing it. You can't just, okay, we're going to run this play, but why are we running this play? What do they like to do inside the goal line? What's their D-line? What do they like to do inside the goal line? There you go. I'm not going to say a lot, but that's their heavy deal, and then what kind of coverage they're in on that situation, what they do in 3rd and long. What do they do in 3rd and long? What do they do in 3rd and long? What does the D-line do? There you go. They have a game, right? They play games. So you got to know all that stuff and know why we're running this plays because of that, because that stuff is going to get you beat. Then you can't turn it over. The big thing that they're really good at is turnovers. I hope they're not watching this, but they are, so I better be quiet. But a lot of them are, if you get it, they're good on offense, they're good on defense, but where they make their hay is during their special teams. They've turned a lot of people over. They had like 4 onside kicks against Argyle. And Mansfield Summit, I think they turned it over 2-3 times in kickoff. So that stuff that we're usually pretty good at, except the Lovejoy game, that's got to take place tomorrow. We need to be good on defense. We need to be great on offense. And then we need to be great in the special teams. When I say good on defense, that means we got to tackle like we've been doing here lately. But we got to do it against a good team. I need to see the Melissa defense show up, or the Lovejoy second half defense, not the first half one. and then I need to see everything that we've been doing, independence and all that stuff. But we need to make sure we see that this week. So that's the biggest thing. And we haven't been hitting. We we hadn't been hitting. We've been doing a lot of situation, a lot of shirt and shorts and stuff this week. So, that worries me a little bit. But we talked about that today. But I felt it was important for us to not get anybody injured and know what to do.
Well, kind of looking ahead then, we've got a new opponent. This is one that most Coyote fans have never seen. We've probably heard of them, at least avid football fans. Game's coming up. It's a little early, right? We got a half an hour earlier than what we're used to, a 7 o'clock kickoff. Anything you want to tell the fans? Anything you want to address before we move to the next
Scott Roop
coaches?
lost that flip. I tried to get 7:30, and he lost it and put us
Thanks,
at 7.
Scott. We see you.
That's right. Bring your energy. The game, I think, is going to be, I don't want to tell this to everybody, but because I want everybody to come. I just got news like today that it's going to be televised. So I guess WFAA or one of the Dallas stations is picking up the game. So that's going to be neat. They're going to have a lot of people there. So a lot of exposure for our guys. I don't tell them because I don't want 30 different accessories on their uniform or stuff like that. But
Can we ask who's the most guilty of the accessories?
Oh yeah, George.
What I was thinking right there. That's the first place my mind went to.
George, and then when you tell George will try to get out there and he'll have some color I ain't never heard of glove. And he's been working hard to get the glove, and I don't know why he works so hard to get those gloves because he knows he's going to get told you can't wear them. So then he'll come out there and he'll have like some fluorescent colored glove, and I say take them off, and boy, you just see the joy just taken away from him. And and I know I ain't gonna let him wear it. I say, he goes, can I not wear these gloves? And I said, no. It said same rule we had last week.
The standard's a standard, right, Danica?
That's right.
Yeah.
You're not going to wear that color. And we're about the team. They forget what uniform meant. Uniform. Coach told us this, Coach Townsend. Uniform is unified. Everybody. One thing. One person look that way. Now, if you want to do your tape your stuff, shoes, I'm all for that. I'm not, some of the socks that they're wearing, if y'all look at some of these teams that they don't have, I try to be a little bit of a fashion police because I do like to look good. And some of these kids need help because they're lied to of what they say looks good. And everybody's wearing those pink socks with black and yellow, not good. So just everybody needs to calm down a little bit and know how to wear your socks. Don't wear too many colors, and there's an art to it, and some of these guys ain't got it.
They are not artistic.
Right.
Well, look, this is the beauty of the Den with Coach Parr, right? You just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
It's part of the fun of this environment, and so I want to give you one last chance, Danica. There's a second part of you that is not here, but is almost always watching. We get critiques from this person occasionally about the show, and so I want to give you a chance. Anything that you want to say to your sister?
Oh.
She has no way to respond, by the way, right now.
Honestly,
Easy.
my sister's perfect in every way. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I don't think my parents would say the same thing because they can't say that to her because her ego would be through the roof because she's a bit like that.
She is a lot like me.
I was to say, up until that point, your angling for Christmas presents was really strong. Like your game was at an all-time high. You might have chipped away a little bit at the end, but Sis is going to take care of you, so you should be good there.
Yeah, she's good. Like her, I don't know where she gets it from. A little argumentative sometimes. It doesn't always go with the flow. So Mom might say something, and she looks, I don't know if that's smelling right, and then Danica will, even if it's not smelling right, she'll go along with it. Of course, Mom, that's right. I don't know, and she's gonna call out and say something, and I'll say, don't do it, and then she always does it, and then I'll tell her again. I say, hey, don't do it, and then she keeps on. She rattles the cage. she rattles the cage, and then she gets upset, and then she'll do it to me too. So I'll start doing it, and I'll tell her no, and then when I start it, she's like, "No, don't do it."
I tell my boys all the time, you rattle the cage, you wake the lion.
I mean, sometimes the lion needs to be woke.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, well, first of all, Danica, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I think it was a joy to have
Thank you
Danica
for
here.
having
Yes.
me.
Coach, you as well. Great
Yeah.
segment, great opportunity. We look forward to seeing you guys this Friday.
Let's go, Coyotes.
Let's go. All right, guys, we are back. Had a great segment there with Coach Parr and his daughter Danica. What an incredible opportunity to see the family together in that segment. Now we're joined by Coach Rod, Coach Severe. Glad that these guys are here. Let's give them a little bit of love and welcome them to the show. All right, Rod, how many people have talked to you about how you take care of footballs before a rain game? Anybody mention anything?
No, nobody's really said anything about that. I think we gotta maybe just make a video and post it on
Show
on
the whole
show.
process.
Yeah, show the whole process, and I
behind
think
the
that
scene.
will gather a lot more attention. But no.
So I don't work hard enough. That's what you're trying
no,
to say.
No.
You
Not
need
a
another
solid
video.
shoot.
You need another video.
No,
Always
no.
something with Coach Rod. That's what it is right there. No, man, that was fun. We got a lot of comments on the YouTube channel.
Oh,
several
yeah,
people writing in. Never knew that. That's so strange. What a weird deal. Like,
Yeah.
who would have thought shaving cream? And I mean, just you.
Putting it in the dryer.
Yeah, like that whole thing. And it was pretty good. Got some good
Yeah.
feedback there. So, okay, look. You have had opportunity, Coach, to be in some pretty good environments.
Yes, sir.
You've had some pretty high stakes moments and opportunities throughout your coaching career. Last year's state title championship had to have brought a next level of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So how are you using some of the stuff you learned last year as we start into the playoffs this year?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I learned from last year's state championship team. I think one of the biggest things that I learned as a coach is, as we get into this phase of the season, is, to be able to maximize as much from our players is, not saying that, you can't coach them as hard, that the standard is a standard. We're still going to have high expectations each and every day, but, the butt chewing's got to go a little bit, lower the butt chewings a little bit, be a little bit more energetic, be a little bit more lively, and just making sure, like Coach Parr said, our guys are excited to play, just be positive with them, and it's different from how it is in the beginning. It's a long season, right? I mean, if you take into account what we do in the summer until now, it's a grind, right? And you can't just continue to harp on them, right? You got to be able to deliver the message in a different way and making sure that they respond in the right way, so.
Well, it's a rhythm because it's really year round.
Yeah,
right?
it is year round. Yeah,
So,
it's
I mean,
a year round process.
There's really no break per se. There's just
Right.
there's a lull in the rhythm. You maybe a little different feel at different times of the year. But look at, I mean, we got a couple guys here tonight, right? They're here kind of taking in the show, and it kind of makes me think to ask the question, how are we doing health wise? How's the team overall when it comes to some of the injuries and getting right and being available?
No, actually, I think the health of the team right now is really good. Ashton Ainsley, we were finally able to get a cast off, and we're going to finally get him back on offense, man, and just the things that he brings to us.
You took it off, didn't you? Don't answer. Don't answer that. I'm just messing around.
Yeah, grab the knife and just went and just saw and just
a butter
cut it
knife,
off.
right?
Yeah.
just have some fun with it.
No, yeah, but I mean, I'm enthusiastic that we got him back. I mean, he brings so much to our offense, so it's exciting to have him. And everywhere else, Ronald is full go. He's been kind of having to battle through some things throughout the year as well. Just to be able to get him full speed and have that explosiveness back on offense is going to be good. And offensively, as well as with Miller, he was able to get that cast off as well. So
nice.
It's good.
Good, healthy boys. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears just a little bit, Coach. I'll put up your name. That way people don't think you Coach Rod. But just from all the coaching experience, we've talked about that the last couple of weeks with you, because you kind of hid that from us. Yeah, not intentionally, but we're kind of learning a little bit of where you've been, kind of your experience level. What are you bringing and implementing at this time right now yourself?
I think, really, Danica hit it on the head earlier. You ever seen that Hoosiers? There's older people in here probably seen Hoosiers, right? They measure the court and they measure the hoop, and it's all the same. The field's the same, the dimensions are the same. Still got 4 downs to get it 10 yards. All that stuff's still the same. So it's not. There's a sense of urgency that's got to be there. There's a level of urgency that's got to be there. But ultimately, it's the same game we've been playing. It's the same game we've been playing since kids, for most of these guys. So it's about going out there and not making too much of it, but really just letting your talent show. Just let your talent get out there and play. Because when you start thinking and trying to make plays happen because it's a bigger game, you start messing up. You start trying to do too much. So it's about playing free, playing relaxed, playing excited, and really enjoying the moment. It's high stakes. That's the best environment to be in. I think back to the biggest games of my life were on Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Day with my family, and it was high stakes, bragging rights for a year. I don't think I ever lost either. I'm just saying.
Hey.
So
hey.
in the family games, but
so look back.
But those were big time games for us.
What's one of your all time?
What's one of my all time?
One of your all time memories, looking back on some of those days.
Just all of them. I would take. I have one cousin. I hope he's not watching. I don't think he is, but I have one cousin who is a little bit, challenged a little bit, and I would always pick him. And there was one game he had a 99-yarder. 99-yard touchdown from the one. It wasn't really 99 yards, but we were backed up to our end zone, so we always would say 99-yarder, and that was always a fun time on our holidays. We just talk a little smack. So, it's just fun to go out there, be a kid, play football, do what you've been doing, and have it be on a great stage.
So, same question to you. Thinking back to your playing days, what's that one memory? What's that high stakes moment that you remember?
For me personally, it's every game. I love the game. Every game was I treated it like it was the big one, right? And just as a competitor, I didn't care who we were playing or what the environment was. I was just going to try to play my hardest no matter what. So that's how I treated it.
Okay. Now, rumor has it that one of us during the stat show this week imitated you.
Oh, really?
They did an imitation, and I'll tell you,
I don't think, back and check that out.
I was going to say, I don't think Blake did a very good job at all, just so you know. I thought it was really rough. I thought, if I were you, I would have been offended. That's how I thought about it.
I'm going to go check it out. Me and Blake, man, we may not be cool once I watch this video, so.
Well, looking forward to the first week opponent, right? We got a game ahead on Friday. What are some of the expectations for your unit? What are you looking at for your guys as a defense?
I think the biggest thing is we got to stop the run. I think if we can stop the run, we can give ourselves a chance to get off the field. They do a really good job of just keeping the chains moving. They have a good quarterback who is not like the most explosive thrower that we've seen probably all year. We've seen some really good quarterbacks, but he does a really good job of just managing the game, picking up first downs, doing some really good things, just keeping the team moving. They got a back who's pretty explosive. So if we can get after their run game and try to force them to be a throw-in team. I think we can get some guys in. You know, Zai's said he would buy my dinner if he plays defense this week. So we got to get third and long so I can get Zai on the field to play a little DB.
Little DB for Zai. I like it.
But hopefully that
no risk there at all.
We got to check with Danica to make sure that doesn't limit his ability to play quarterback. But I think you know, it's just winning first downs and doing all the things that we got to do to stop the run and try to put them behind the chains. So that's kind of the biggest thing for us.
Danica, I hear an analyst position for you in the future. Have you angled for that yet? I mean, you talk about like birthday money and Christmas. I hear like an analyst position kind of making its way. You might want to angle for that. Just talk to your dad and see if there's something in the budget for an analyst. Looking for you got the special teams, wide receiver groups. Tell me a little bit about kind of what your expectations are.
Yeah, so starting out with the special teams, Coach Parr talked about it. You know, they were able to really win a lot of games off of special teams. They got a great kicker and punter. He's able to flip the field and got a really great leg. One of the best onside kickers I've ever seen. So we got to make sure with our return units we don't lose any possessions. We make sure we fill the ball and give our offense a chance to go do their thing, right?
It feels like that's what made that Argyle game they played so close. I mean,
right, yeah. They onside kicked it 3 times and, recovered them, and we're able to get them back into the game. I mean, in a snap of
I feel like it was a 4-point game
when
it was all said and done, which I don't think anybody predicted going into it. So kudos to them. Like that's big time.
Yeah, and their punt, and I mean the kicker and the punter. I mean, he's the same guy that punts, and he's able to flip the field. I mean, one of the clips that we've seen. I mean, he has like a 60-yard punt. I mean, high hang time and far distance. It was a good ratio punt. So. We got to be able to make sure that we're mistake-free on Friday and, cover on kickoff, keep doing our thing there, how we've been all year, and then making sure we filled every ball. So,
well, fellas, great segment. Thanks for joining us. Let's give it up for our coaches here. Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to seeing you on the field.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're back. Last segment of the night. Excited to have Coach Rigg here with us. First of all, I'm just going to say it and get it over with. Congratulations. And just know I die a little inside. I threw up a little in my mouth, but it is what it is.
It was a good weekend in the Rigg household.
Well, it was for those of you that haven't been watching anything we've done at all. This is a Mizzou guy, like through and through. And you got to give him his cred right there. Like, he earned it the hard way, right? He earned it the hard way, and I'm an OU guy, and they made us look silly. So I take the lump. I'll take it, Coach. But I will say this: you give our show way more credit by saying that you couldn't talk about OU's offensive line because beatball might be on your back. I promise you, not even one of their analysts watch our show,
I
so
doubt
you're
it.
good.
Just always got to cover your tracks.
Well, you give us way too much credit, brother. Look, let's dive right in. Yeah. Last game. 420 yards rushing. No. Last game, 420 yards rushing.
Good.
Guys, that is a lot of yards, Coach. I can only imagine you got some stuff to say specifically about Pharrell and that O-line. Can you talk a little bit about that group?
Yeah, we started off, had a couple good series opening up. Chumley and Zai had some big rushes, kind of got us moving down the field, score a couple touchdowns, and then we knew what was coming this week. Everything was pretty well locked in, so with the field being wet and some stuff, we wanted to kind of, not rest some guys, but have some guys, all the way sharp and not chance anything. So then Pharrell got an opportunity, and, I mean, he just legitimately ran with it. I mean, he took off, had a lot of broken tackles, had a lot of – I mean, it didn't matter who was blocking for him. He was making plays. I mean,
he took it personal.
Yeah.
He was so violent.
He was rolling.
Like every run, he wanted to make his presence known on that field. It was a lot of fun to watch that. How do you manage a guy like Chumley who's a competitor, and you're kind of telling him, hey, buddy, I know we're getting a lot of yardage on the ground, but you mean a lot to us, and we need to let you kind of chill over here. How do you handle that? Because there's no way he's like, yay, I get to rest.
No. I mean, he was pretty angry, probably had some choice words under his breath and some stuff, but, he understands the big picture of it. I mean, Chumley's been through this a couple years now. He understands how the whole thing, why we're doing it, why it happens. So he's good on that, and he does a great job of once, he gets over that he's, right on there. I mean, he's cheering as much as anybody. He's got all the energy. I mean, kind of bringing the energy on the sideline. That's the big thing with those, guys, when they come out, we tell them, I mean, you got to give the same energy to the guys that are on the field as what, they give to you every week. So, got to keep them rolling on. It doesn't matter who's on the field. We expect to move the ball, expect to score, and I mean that's what we did.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys get in that game.
We did.
A lot of guys had some good games, some great stats to show for it. Let's talk a little about Colleyville, specifically their defense. What kind of formations do they tend to use? What do you tend to see from this team as they get ready to kind of prep for us? What do you think we're going to see?
Yeah, I mean they're a four-man front, so that's a little more rare than what it used to be. Four-man front you used to see a lot, especially in the 2000s, but with kind of the advent of spread football and everyone spreading people out, that's become more and more rare. It's not seen that often, which can sometimes be a good thing, sometimes can be a bad thing. I grew up, my dad was a defensive coordinator, ran the four-man front, so I'm very familiar with it. Kind of know some of the goods and bads of the four-man front, kind of some things you can do with it, and I also love the four-man front, but that's something that I'm very familiar with. There's a lot of people that don't see it very often, so it is kind of a surprise, but I've been fortunate that, when I was in elementary school, I was learning about how to, move the whole player when they bring a tight end in and do all that stuff, from since I could remember.
Well, outside like a third and long situation where I think you kind of expect a blitz, you expect some pressure, you expect something like that. Does this team tend to do that a lot? What do you see?
I mean, now I say this, and then they'll be bringing the house every play, but they do a good job of kind of picking their spots with pressures, picking their spots with stunts, because anytime you have a four-man front, stunts and games up front are very, very important. So they do a good job of kind of picking their spots with those. They're not overly aggressive with it, but that kind of they try to keep you in front of you, and then they are pretty good tacklers. I feel they do a good job of getting people down and making you snap it again, which that's great way to do it.
Well, okay, look, going back to last week's game just a little bit, there are a couple pictures floating around, especially rain pictures. There's some really great rain pictures floating around at that game. Guys, sliding on their belly through the puddles. I think every team in DFW did that.
Yeah.
It was funny kind of looking at all that come around.
Yeah.
One of the best pictures probably came from Peyton. A picture where I think somebody titled it, where are you taking him to the bus, coach? Tell us a little bit about our line going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, so our offensive line, it's always preachy. I'm from the upper Midwest where, it's tends to be a little chillier this time of year than what it is down here in Texas. So once it starts to get cold, I mean, I played in lots of snow games, things like that. Like, we do not wear sleeves. We don't wear, anything to cover up. We're going to kind of, for better or worse, show people that, we're tougher than the elements, just because it's cold outside. I mean, that's nothing. We're here about business. We're not here to dress up, here to bundle up. We're here to, play football and get after it. And so, with a rain game on top of it being a little cooler, I think for them they handled it really well, did a great job with it. They kind of came out and knew that because it's a rain game, the run game is going to be more important. And that was, once the first couple series hit, the rain hit. And, I mean, at that point, the run game is going to be very important. After Wilmer Hutchins last year, we're going to have to get after it. I mean,
was crazy.
yeah, that. There were some flashbacks there, and they weren't going to let that happen again.
Wow. Well, apparently you've got me all choked up.
I mean, it's pretty moving when you see a team run the ball like
Right?
that.
It was pretty impressive overall.
Special.
We've, as a network, we've had a hard time just trying to find all the right words. Yeah. Everybody's important on this team, and that's the thing about a team concept. Oh, everybody's important. Everybody has a role, and the lines have an important part in that. And yet they're also that group that, and they'll get this the rest of their lives.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They never get talked about.
No.
So we try to do our fair share.
Yeah.
And so thanks for talking a little bit about them tonight.
For sure.
Well, guys, I think with that, I'm going to have to close. I have not been able to kick this cough, and it is coming back with a vengeance.
There you go.
I want to thank all the coaches for being here tonight, all the fans for coming out and being a part of this. You guys are incredible. Thanks to Nanda's for their hospitality every single week.
Yep.
And we got to kick off this Friday at 7 o'clock at Mustang Panther Stadium, so we want everybody to be there. I know that people are carrying it on television. Fine, whatever. But come out and hang out, right? Make your voice known. Support these boys. Be there. Be loud. And then come join us again next week right here. Guys, have a great night.